In Tokyo, we see Ysuke walk to school and interact with his classmates. Ysuke spends the evening playing an RPG game. Although he enjoys playing it, a board with writing and a picture of him as a child dampens his joy. Ysuke then uses his smartphone to look for something. Ysuke is chastised by his teacher for failing to submit his future plans form. He notices you conversing with another girl in his class named Kusue. He finishes his conversation with his teacher, wanting to go home and continue playing his game. A butterfly net falls to the ground in the back of the room as a little girl runs out of the hallway, giggling. He and his classmates Yu and Kusue are told they have 14 days to complete a quest for the village chief. The game master then assigns them their own combative roles. Yu, Ysuke's teacher, explains how the game master transported her to the real world. The game master then asks Kusue to accompany him for the rest of the game. Yu explains a log point to Ysuke after he discovers one. A couple of goblins ambush the group soon after. Ysuke charges at the goblin with his hoe, but his other weapon is also broken, and he dies. Ysuke kills himself by impaling a goblin with his broken hoe. He looks at his fallen body for 30 seconds as a naked and transparent ghost. Yu tells him that they'd all die for real, in real life. Ysuke discovers that it will take 5 days for his weapons to regenerate. Due to a goblin attack, Kusue is missing her legs from the waist down and her left arm. The game master also instructs him to ask the girls what rewards they will receive once they complete their quests. Both Ysuke and Kusue are shown to be alive, though Kusue's hand is not regenerated. Kusue believes it is because the monster ate her hand. They decide to ignore the monster and forget about Yu in order to meet with the village chief. The same troll who killed Yu and bit off Kusue's hand also bit off Yu's hand. It is also the same creature that has ravaged their land. Ysuke Yotsuya ventures into the forest in search of goblins in order to raise his level. He comes across a log point and overhears the girls discussing who their third member should be and who they should like. Yotsuya is surprised to learn that Shindo mentioned him, but he sneezes and the log point is stopped, preventing him from seeing the end. He comes across a vantage point from which he can see the village and is reminded of his past. He notices some goblins in the area. After defeating them and reaching rank 9, he receives a notification that Kusue Hakozaki has died and notices the village is on fire. When he returns to the village, he notices that Hakozaki isn't reviving and concludes that she must be eaten. Yotsuya notices another log point and investigates. He sees Hakozaki practicing with her sword and explaining to a child that in her world she is sick and unable to exorcise, but here she wants to get strong and help others rather than being a burden to everyone. He then sees the troll attack and how Hakozaki stays behind to slow it down while the villagers flee but is eaten. Yotsuya then begins to flee as the troll appears. He successfully avoids his attacks, but the troll eventually catches up to him. He comes across an injured goblin who had eluded him previously and kills him, raising his rank to 10. The clock then comes to a halt, and the game master appears. He spins the roulette, which allows him to choose another job, but he ends up with another rare job, chef. Yotsuya is disappointed, but he is glad he now has a knife. Looking at the troll, he gains internal knowledge of the troll as a result of his new job. The time is reset, but he uses his knowledge to attack the troll's stomach and open it up, allowing Shindo and Hakozaki to resurrect. The group engages the troll after figuring out his jumping pattern and tiring him out from all the jumping, but they keep dying over and over. Seeing the troll's stomach wound, Yotsuya devises a strategy and charges into the hole, stabbing the troll from the inside. This stops the troll from moving for a moment, allowing Shindo to climb on its back and blow wind directly into the troll's head, killing it. The game master makes an appearance and congratulates them. Shindo is disappointed because her rank increased from 3 to 5, while Hakozaki's rank increased from 1 to 4, but Yotsuya's chef rank increased from 1 to 5. Yotsuya is given the opportunity to question the game master. After some thought, he asks what they plan to do after completing the 10th quest. The game master takes them to the future, where they will face a large dragon. They all awaken in the normal world the next moment. Shindo then leaves for her practice and requests that Yotsuya transport Hakozaki home. As they walk to the station with Hakozaki, he notices the building where the dragon appeared and realizes that if he abandons his quest, the city he despises will be destroyed. Game Master calls Ysuke Yotsuya and tells him that he must hit on a specific girl or their next mission will fail. As instructed, he enters a different school and notices 3 girls bullying each other in the girls' restroom. He is afraid that if the video of one of them filming while trying to undress the girl leaks online, the girl will end up killing herself, and he will fail his mission and die. He then proceeds to take the girls' phones and smash them. She explains as she walks the girl home that the girls were getting back at her because she and one of the girls were streaming and she said something about her and they came to get back at her. When she says she's fine and Yotsuya casually says he'll leave, she stops him and tells him about a one-star game that trains male idols and that if he does one of those guys, it could be modeling practice for him, and then she runs. Yotsuya, Hakozaki, Shindo, and the new girl Yotsuya saved, Yuka Tokitate, are teleported to another world. When the game master appears and spins the roulette, Tokitate transforms into a fire wizard. He also informs the group that the revival time has been increased from 30 to 40 seconds and assigns them a new task: traverse 5% of the map and deliver the goods to Rei Dorbo. Tokitate refers to Yotsuya as a pervert and explains how they met, as well as how she later spoke with the girls whose phones were broken and they assumed he was a pervert who came to install hidden cameras. Tokitate explains that she always tries to avoid being bullied, but because she messed up this time, she tried to blame Yotsuya, assuming they wouldn't meet again and bond with her classmates who tried to bully her. They reunite later to call it a day, but then a giant bug falls down in front of them, releasing a centipede. It immediately shoots pill bugs, killing Yotsuya and Shindo. Tokitate sees this as her chance to shine and be the magical girl she always wanted, but activating her magic and being rank 1 only makes her wand hotter and then kills her. Yotsuya awakens and wonders why the girls avoid him and regard him as a pervert, despite the fact that he saved Tokitate. As he recalls her advice on how to be popular with girls, he realizes he is not popular with girls and is simply a loser. He becomes enraged, but because Shindo mentioned liking one of the Yotsuyas at school, he decides to wait and see which one she meant. He then climbs onto the centipede's back and begins cutting its legs, rendering it immobile. Because they can't use other people's weapons, he asks Hakozaki to hold her sword and they kill the centipede together, raising her rank to 6 and is to 7. Shindo fantasizes about her past and how she beat a boy for making her angry. She then met Sayuri, an older girl who warned her not to do it, and they became friends, but Sayuri died in an accident one day. Yotsuya is lifting weights when she awakens. Yotsuya notices she is acting strangely and inquires about the time in the log point when she cried. Shindo takes his hand in hers and asks him to assist her. The group travels to Rei Dorbo, a village in the far west, to complete the latest stage of their quest. Shindo, on the other hand, is kidnapped by bandits on the way. Tokitate and Hakozaki want to save her, but Yotsuya is impatient, so the three of them part ways. Yotsuya enters the tournament but is killed in 5 seconds by the knight Kafel. Kafel reveals herself to be a girl and expresses gratitude for Yotsuya's rebirth. Yotsuya says he needs to get to Rei Dorbo and asks if he can help her in exchange for the horses. Kafel agrees to help her defeat some monsters in exchange for a troll for a horse, but wonders if they'll be able to find one in 5 days. He wonders if the bandits are okay, and knowing where his teammates are on the map, he tells the knights where they can find the bandits' camp and earns 1 horse. Kafel proposes to train Yotsuya with the sword while they are on their way to the camp, and he agrees. They sneak up on the bandits at night and surprise them. The bandits have no choice but to open a cage and let out a berserker. Kafel engages the berserker, stating that she enjoys slicing flesh and has finally found one that she can keep slicing, pointing to Yotsuya, but now wants to cut some berserker flesh. Yotsuya realizes he can use the persuasiveness of his creature magic to convince Kafel that someone will kill him from behind. But this provides an opportunity for Kafel, who cuts the berserker's head off. They save the girls, and Yotsuya explains that despite losing in the first round of the tournament, he was able to obtain 1 horse. Kafel then offers to accompany them with some of her men in exchange for keeping their horse when they arrive in Rei Dorbo and training the 4 of them with the sword. Subscribe to the channel for next part.